So, our protagonist is named Wade Watts, and he's a massive loser. He lives with his abusive aunt and frequently goes to the Oasis. What is the Oasis? It's a game made by James Holiday, another massive loser. But he's rich, so that makes him cool. In fact, he recently died, so he made a huge contest to find some keys and an Easter egg in order to get his massive fortune. Holiday was really into 80s stuff, like the rest of the world right now, and he made his whole contest centered around it. The people who loyally researched his life and the 80s were known as Gunters, but the bad people who wanted to use the fortune to do bad things were known as Sixers because they worked for a company that used sixes. How evil. Now that all the boring exposition is out of the way, it's time to finally start the story. Wade goes into the Oasis and uses his avatar Parzival. He meets up with his friend H, and they talk about something unimportant before going to school. Wade is then sitting in class thinking about the Easter egg, like usual, when he finally cracks the first riddle. OMG, I need to skip class. So Wade books it as soon as he can to some spooky tomb located on his own school grounds. He beats it on his third try without any consequences because he's the main character in a boyish fantasy. After he gets the copper key, we're introduced to the best character in the book, Artemis Fowl. Artemis quickly establishes that she's a total badass and the total love interest for Wade since he can't stop mentioning how hot she is. Artemis asks him if he got the copper key. Wade says no. Artemis says, oh, okay, and then she checks the universal scoreboard and screams. She locks Wade in the tomb for a few hours until he's let out. So Wade continues to another planet and gets through the first gate. It's a movie simulation that Wade aces, because obviously he does. H and Artemis win the copper key too, and now they're famous in the Oasis. This guy named Sorrento calls Wade and is like, you're super dead if you don't help us. And then Wade is like, I guess I'm super dead then. Then Sorrento kills a bunch of innocent people, thinking Wade is among them. Wade is upset about this for 2 minutes. But he does find common sense to warn his friends, including 2 new characters, Sword 1 and Sword 2. This is the part of the story where everyone is still dumb enough to suggest that they all work alone, and they go their separate ways. Except Wade and Artemis, who flirt for a few weeks, and Wade decides that they're dating. They're then invited to a big party that's hosted by Holiday's best friend, an old guy trying to be hip with the kids. While they're at the party, Artemis breaks up with Wade for an understandable reason, and he gets very upset. Hey, I want to focus on getting the egg so I can help the world, and you're distracting me from doing that. But I love you! So Wade spends the next few weeks moping around instead of doing the plot, which is super boring, so someone else does the plot. Surprise, surprise, it's Artemis, who gets the next key, like the badass that she is. Wade decides that, oh shoot, I should actually stop moping, and he starts looking for the Jade Key. He ends up in the completely wrong place, though, and ends up playing Pac-Man instead. He gets a quarter that definitely won't be important later. Then H, being the best bro that he is, gives Wade a hint as to where the Jade Key is. So Wade collects some trophies and blows a whistle, and then he gets the Jade Key. He then plays an arcade game to pass the second gate. He also wins a robot that will definitely be important later. While thinking about the riddle for the crystal key, Sorrento gets the crystal key and is headed for the third gate. Wade is terrified and kicks his butt into high gear. He locates the crystal key and receives it by playing a guitar to a waterfall. He heads to Cathonia, which is where the third gate is, and he sees that there's a massive shield being held up by the Sixers. Damn it. So Wade tells all his friends where the keys are and sends himself into indentured servitude for the Sixers. But using his excellent hacking skills, he's able to shut down the shield, warn his friends that the Sixers are going to kidnap them, and free himself. Wade gets to a chat room with his friends and tells them everything. This is the part where I actually started liking the book. Then the old guy from the party shows up and is like, I have infinite power in the Oasis. Everyone is too in awe of Ogden to realize that he could have stopped the Sixers himself to keep the integrity of the contest. He offers them all rides to Oregon, except for Wade, who has to ride with H in his trailer. When H arrives at Wade's location, Wade realizes that his best white straight guy friend was actually the opposite of white, straight, and a guy. Wade is understandably nervous. Wade thinks he has prejudice until he realizes that her race, sexuality, and gender impact almost nothing about her personality, and he accepts her the way she is. Wow, I wish it was that easy in real life. So they go to Ogden's house and they all log into the Oasis. They rally up all the Gunters to fight for them while Wade, Artemis, H, and Shoto do the third game. Shoto gets into a huge robot and the others do the same. There's a big fight. Shoto's avatar is killed, but Wade kills Sorrento's avatar in revenge. They get to the third gate, and all three put their keys in to open the door. But before they could get in, there's a massive explosion that kills everyone's avatar. Except Wade, who realizes that the quarter he got from the Pac-Man game gave him an extra life. Everyone is still talking to him, though. They all play backseat driver, so Wade can be the relatable main character hero. He gets to the egg, and Holiday's ghost tells him to stop embracing otaku lifestyle. Wade says maybe, and becomes invincible and rich. Then the four log out of the oasis. Wade desperately asks for his not-girlfriend, and Ogden tells him that she's looking for the perfect setting for the book to end. Wade goes into the maze and finds her. She feels bad for her attitude towards Wade for some reason, and he rightfully tells her that she was right to tell him off. Then they kiss and it ends.